is a tricky problem. So let's read it. It says, in the given equation, C is a positive constant. Okay, so C is a constant. Which of the following is one of the solutions to the equation? Okay, so notice it says one of the solutions. So there's more than one possible solution. Also notice that the value C is in all these expressions here. So if C is in all these expressions, then we could make C whatever we want it to be. It doesn't have to be a set number. Okay, so the first way we're going to do this problem is through Desmos. So, but before we do that, let's think about what solutions to equations are. Okay, so if we have like y equals like some quadratic equation, so something that's written in ax ax squared plus bx plus c form, and you find like and you're able to factor it. So let's say you factor this thing, and it factors to something like this. Okay, and you set these factors equal to 0. And you say, okay, well, x equals positive 2 and x equals negative 3. Well, what you found is you found the solutions. And by solutions, they mean x-intercepts. So this is a parabola, and these are the x-intercepts. So basically what that means is the solutions are the x values where y is 0, right? So in this case, if you have negative 3 and 2, let's say the graph goes like this. See, these are the solutions. This is where y is equal to 0. All right, so what we can do is we can separate this right here into two equations. Sorry, we're not going to do that. We're going to write it like this. One equation, okay? So we're going to move everything to one side of the equation. So we're going to move this right here to this side, and we're going to move this right here to this side, okay? So here, I'm going to just write this down. So x squared over root x squared minus c squared. And then I'm going to subtract this to the other side. So minus c squared over root x squared minus c squared. Then I'm going to subtract the 39 to both sides of the equal sign. All right, and that gives me minus 39. And then on this side, on the right, you're left with a 0. Okay. So what we could do is we can actually over here set y equal to this. Just like over here, you set y equal to this. Okay, and when you set y equal to this, the solutions are the x-intercepts. So let me write that down. Let me erase this piece right here. And I'm going to write solutions are the x-intercepts. Okay, so if we graph this and we find using the slider what C needs to be so that we have x-intercepts. So let's say, for example, we have a graph, and let me draw it the right way. Okay, so let's say, for example, we have a graph, and the graph kind of goes like this. Okay, so that's an x-intercept, and we find this x-intercept to be, let's say, 20, for example. Okay, and then we found C, let's say C through Desmos ended up being something like 5. Okay, well, it says here C is a positive constant. Okay, so let's say C was 5, and this 5 gave us an x-intercept of 20. Then what you would do from there is you would plug C into all these options. To that one, to that one, to that one, and to that one. And whichever one gave you the answer of 20, once you plugged in that C value, would be your answer. Okay, so let's do it with the real values. Okay, so I have Desmos right here. I'm going to type this all up. So y equals x squared over the square root of x squared minus c squared minus, minus c squared over the square root of x squared minus c squared minus 39. Oh no. I brought it back. Oh no. Trying to click over here, hold on. Minus 39. Okay. All right, so I'm going to make sure I have that right. X squared over the square root of x squared minus c squared over the square root of x squared minus c squared equals 39. Great. Okay, so there's no graph so far. I can go ahead and squish this a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There. Okay, so we have right here a couple of x-intercepts. All right, so but this c is 0.4. So here it says c is a positive constant. Well, I guess that actually works. But let's get a prettier number than that. Hold on a second. Let's get like 1. Okay, we'll use these numbers here. All right, so that means that if I plug 1 into all of these options, I should get these values over here. So let me take a picture of this. And we'll do it over here. Here, let's see if I can shrink this down a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to this. All right, I'll do it down here. All right, well, if I plug in negative c, that's not going to give me this value right here. So we're trying to get one of these two values, this one or this one, if you can see that. And if I plug in negative c, well, if c is 1, negative 1 times, so negative 1 times 1 is not going to give me that number, right? So option A can't be the answer. Okay, option B. Just plug it in. So we have c is 1, right? So that's going to be 1 squared, which is 1, minus 39 squared. That's going to be a huge number, right? Not going to be the answer. Negative 1,520. Nope. That's not these guys down here, negative 39 point whatever or positive 39 point whatever. That's gone. All right, keep on going. Let's try negative the square root of 39 squared minus c squared. Oops, minus 1 squared, or just 1. And we get negative 38.98, which is close, but it's not negative 39.01. But I'll leave that one there for now. All right. Then we're going to do negative square root of c squared, which is just 1 squared. I'll just write it like that, even though it's 1. Okay. 1 squared plus 39 squared. Okay. That's negative 39.0128. We compare that over here, negative 39.0128. That's our guy. So C is our answer. I'm sorry, D is our answer. So this one is close, but not going to be the one. Answer is D. So remember that these values right here represent the solutions. Meaning that when you plug, like if you actually knew what C was, it should give you this value or this value. So once we found C with the slider that gave us solutions, these two solutions here, we just plugged in the C that we got right there that satisfies these conditions, that it's a positive constant and one's a positive constant, and you just plug it into the options until you get your answer. So our answer is D. Let me make that look a little bit better. Or not. There we go. The answer is D.